Hey guys, what's up? This is Martin4046 today with a tour review for you. Oh boy, I'm so excited for this one. Today we're having a look at the Neca Predators Series 8 Jungle Patrol Dutch. Finally, after all this wait, the newest series of Predator figures came finally in my country. And really, of all the figures I was most looking for of 2013 was this guy right here, the Jungle Patrol Dutch. When I saw the pictures on San Diego Comic-Con of the Dutch figures they're gonna release, I was so excited, really. After all these years that people have talked about, Neca, could you please release a Dutch figure? And they finally made a series with Dutch figures. And I can tell right out of the bat, looking at this figure in the packaging, he looks fantastic. But we'll later get into it. But first of all, let's take a look at the packaging. The packaging still has kind of the same bubble shape, kind of, design of packaging, which I really do like. This time, however, we have more of a kind of a Predator 1 kind of theme. We have the Jungle, not the City Hunter, but the classic Predators as mask on the side of the packaging itself, looking really cool. On the background, you can see some rainforest details, some plants in the night, which is really nice. You can see Jungle Patrol Dutch, age17+, which I really don't understand. And there you're going to see a very nice picture of Dutch himself. Jungle Patrol Dutch Predator, over 20 points of articulation, includes M16 with grenade launcher, pistol and knife. Really cool. Also, it's the 25th anniversary, which is quite nice. On the back, you got another picture of the Dutch figure itself. There's the read-up, of course. Deep in the Central American jungle, the Predator is hunting humans for sport, armed with his plasma caster, wrist plates, and cloaking technology. The Predator mythology stalks and kills the opponents he deems worthy. The Jungle Predator collects the skulls and spines of his victims as trophies and skins his prey, leaving the bodies hanging from the trees. When a special forces dispatched on a rescue mission, they soon become the Predator's prey. Of course, you got the other figures in the wave. Of course, we have the the Jungle Patrol Dutch, the re-released Classic Predator, which I might pick up because I actually never picked up a original Classic Predator with bio helmets. I sure do have the other Classic Predators, like the very first released Classic Predator, the Battle Damaged Classic Predator, and I think the Clothed Classic Predator, but I actually never picked up this one right here, so I will maybe pick up later this one later up this year. And of course, you got the Jungle Extraction Dutch. So here we have the Jungle Patrol Dutch figure out of the packaging, and the only thing I can say is, wow. Wow, oh wow. Of all the figures that I actually have reviewed and that are in my collection kind of stuff, if you follow my videos, I have loads of figures that I love personally in my collection and that are in my favorite lists. And this is one of those figures that is definitely one of my favorite figures in my collection, and also one of my favorite figures of 2013. I mean, this figure is outstandingly gorgeous. It is just a magnificent figure. I can talk hours like this, but let's have a look at the figure. First of all, I want to remove one of his accessories. And let's first focus on his face. To Arnold Schwarzenegger playing as Dutch. And let me tell you how the heck of an amazing head sculpt that is. It basically just looks that the real Arnold Schwarzenegger has turned into a, of course it's an action figure, but it's almost a smaller version of him, and Neca just really nailed the head sculpt of Schwarzenegger right here. You think back in the past that the Terminator figures were good? Don't get me wrong, I love the Terminator figures, and still today they are one of my favorite Neca toy lines that I've actually released. But this one is just magnificent. Just look at that. The skin tone, how the face is done. He even actually got, halves stubbles, just sculpted stubbles, and just look at his face. This is just Schwarzenegger, just a real life Schwarzenegger into your face. Fantastic. You get the very nice camouflage war paint over his face. You get this very menacing, pissed off look. You can even see a transition light on the back of his ears, which is quite nice. Just overall, a magnificent face. That is one of the best, if you ask me, that is one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen on a figure. Just in a fantastic figure, I'm sorry. But what I also really do like about this figure is just the skin tone. They brought, since the Rocky figures, this amazing looking wet look. There's kind of this wet look that is you kind of have a glimpse like he's sweating. And look at those biceps! Wow, just look at those biceps. You can actually see the veins on his arm. This guy is just really just a killing machine. Look at those biceps, just absolutely awesome. And the sculpt in his neck and kind of stuff, you can see all the sorts of difference of details. Just really cool. Just amazing. I say just an amazing a lot of my reviews, I'm sorry. But I'm just lost for words how much Neca is doing with their figures. I'm speechless, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at this suit. Or his, actually his suit or his clothes kind of stuff. You can actually see a sort of a body armor right here, which is really nicely sculpted. It is rubber. It's a pliable plastic, so it's movable. You can actually see all sorts of details, little pockets, little wrinkles inside. A little clip right here. There's one clip loose, which is really nice. On the back, you can see the camouflage color, which is really nicely done. You can see some more wrinkles on the back of his shirt. Just amazingly done. On this camouflage pants, which also looks really good. You can see his pockets for his knife, which we'll get into it about a second. And just overall, this figure is fantastic. What I also really like is, and a lot of reviewers have commented on it, because if you give a side-by-side comparison with the Predator right here, they are actually in scale, which is really nice. And maybe the Predator should be a little bit taller, because I actually had the very first release Predator with the V hips and not with the ball jointed hips. But I really like the fact that they are in scale. Going back to the details, take a look at this boot. It's very nice army looking boots. If my camera wants to focus, I'm sorry. Here we go, maybe it's a little dark. Got a very nice camo kind of boots right here. You can see all different sorts of details in the boot itself. Just really cool. And I actually got sculpted the bottoms of the foot on the shoe as well, which is really nice. And I also have a little detail on the bottom of his shoe, which is really nice. Just take a look at his hands. Just, you know, you can actually see all the little details that I actually brought in the hands. I just really love this new sort of way of skin tone. It brings depth, it brings detail, realisticness, and all kinds of stuff. You can actually see the veins. Same on the arms, you're going to see the veins into his hand. Also has a little watch right here, which is a very nice touch. Really cool. But just, I'm speechless. This is just an amazing figure. Taking a look at the articulation of this figure. This figure has loads, and I mean loads of articulation. He has a ball jointed head with a very nice range of movement. You can move the head up and down, side to side, all the way around. Just, you can make some amazing poses with the head itself. But that's not about it, guys. He has a ball jointed shoulder. You can move back and forth, in and out, in and out and back and forth, I'm sorry. You got a bend and rotation in the elbow. There's a ball joint in the wrist. He has a diaphragm joint, which is on the ball joint as well, which you can move back and forth, side to side, all the way around. He has a waist swivel, which is really nice. This is the stuff that I just love about these figures. I love all the articulation, but this is one of my favorite parts, the ball jointed hips. And I absolutely love the fact this time now they actually are tight. And why I'm saying this, of course the previous Predators from the Predator 2 line have the same sort of articulation, but the only problem I did have with those ball joints sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, and this is one of those examples, which is a Lost Predator right here. One of the problems I did have with the ball jointed legs is the fact that sometimes on these figures, those ball joints are really, really loose, especially on my Lost Predator, which is kind of a shame, really. But Dutch right here doesn't have the problem at all. You can move the leg back and forward, in and out, with a very nice range, I might add. You can rotate the thigh. You can bend the knee, you can rotate the knee, you can rotate the upper boot, and there's a ball jointed ankle with a little ankle pivot right here, which is really cool. So that's certainly loads and loads of articulation. And now let's take a look at the accessories. Also one of the parts that really excels with this figure. Let's have a look. First of all, he came with a little hunting knife. A very small, but, well, he's not that small, but a very cool little hunting knife. You can see all the little blade right here. You can see quite a long, actually, a hilt right here, which is quite nice. I can actually do it with one hand, I'm sorry, but just a really nice looking dagger. There isn't that much detail, but I just really like the blade, how it looks. One thing I love about this figure, as same with the Jungle Extraction Dutch, is the fact you can actually house not one, but all of his weapons on this figure. So you can actually take the knife or the dagger into a little sheath right here. And that looks really cool. Second accessory, he comes with a gun right here. I don't know the specific name about this gun. Maybe it's a Desert Eagle or kinds of stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not the best with guns and kinds of stuff. I know some of them, but not all of them. So my apologies. But really nice looking gun. It's quite a large gun for him too. You can see actually kind of all the little details into the gun itself, a little wear and tear. Just a very nice looking gun. Very nice black detail on the top of the gun. A very nice holding part. I like this as well. It's one of those 80s guns, if I must say. But just a really cool looking gun. Same for the knife. Sorry. You can actually house the gun into his side holster right here, like so, and there's actually a little string right here, so you can actually plug it into this little hole right there, so it stays like so. It's a bit tricky at some points, but if you get it just right, you have it. And this time it doesn't really want to work to me all that well. It's quite simple, don't believe me, but sometimes you have to play around a bit. And here we go. Here we have the string onto the holster itself. No, not fully, but a little bit. And last but not least, Dutch came with his M16 grenade launcher. And this is by far my favorite accessory. I've always loved this sort of rifle. It's an M16 with a grenade launcher. For the second time, sorry. You got, of course, the grenade launcher right here, the M16, which has a very nice little bit of detail on the top. It's most of all black, but if you look at good, you can just see some little details inside of the, well, actually on the gun, on the rifle itself, I'm sorry. Just all in all, just an outstanding looking rifle. I also really like the fact that it has actually a little string on the rifle itself, so you can actually house the, or actually Dutch can actually rest this gun on his shoulder, which is quite nice. So here you have Dutch resting his rifle on the shoulder. It's a matter of preference how you want to display your Dutch. Maybe with this weapon like this, maybe you want to hold his gun or his knife. I've always preferred Dutch holding, well actually this version of Dutch, holding his M16. Like, you gotta hold a second. Like, it's quite simple. Like so. With two hands, by the way, which is really cool. And there you have Dutch with his M16. And now he looks awesome. Now he looks absolutely awesome. This is the way how I actually display him. And by the way, here I have Dutch holding his pistol, like so. And here you have Dutch holding his hunting knife, or his dagger. Holding his dagger is a little bit tricky. It kind of rests on his hand like that, and you have to kind of just set it like so. So he doesn't hold this knife just absolutely straight or flush. So the knife is actually kind of sitting on his hand. But still very cool that you can display Dutch with his knife as well. Putting his knife back into his little sheath right here. Like so. But just overall, this is definitely a magnificent figure. Definitely, till now, my favorite pickup of 2013. And it is just a fantastic figure. That's the only thing I have just to say. It is a fantastic figure. Being the fact that I'm a huge fan of the Predator movies, it's so nice to see finally Neca releasing a Dutch figure after all this wait. And Neca just didn't disappoint me at all. They just nailed it just absolutely right. The articulation, the posability, the play value, just the poses you can bring him is just phenomenal. The head sculpt is absolutely amazing. The skin tone is definitely perfect. And if I give this figure a rating, you guessed it, I gotta give him a good solid 10. But that concludes my tour review on the Neca Predator Series 8 Jungle Patrol Dutch. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want, leave a comment if you want. It's all a matter of preference. But that was again a review from Martin 446, and I'll see you guys next time with another review.